What's up, everyone? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to my hobby channel. Today we've got a two-parter. I'm going to be ripping a bunch of 2024 Topps UFC Chrome. The re-debut edition, when Topps got the licensing back last year. I believe this was the first release they did. It's actually how I found out that they had got the licensing back. I was surfing the web and saw a bunch of pre-orders for 2024 Topps UFC Chrome, and I thought, wait, that's a Panini product. But sure enough, they had got the licensing back. As I'm recording this, July 1st, 2025, 2025 UFC Chrome just came out the other day. Hobby came out on the 28th of June, I believe. And retail is coming out in the next couple weeks. I believe by mid-July it should be on the shelves. So I put this break together about a year ago. Never got around to recording it because I've been super busy. But I wanted to compare a hobby box to the basic equivalent price-wise in retail. And I wanted to compare last year's to this year's because last year, the mega boxes down here had one autograph per box, and we did not see that on this year's release. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the hobby versus retail, and just this year's versus last year's, whether that's an improvement or not. I'd assume it's not an improvement, but we'll have to see. So part one is going to be the hobby box. I'll let the hobby box set the tone, and I've got 4 blasters and 2 mega boxes for the retail portion. So hopefully, with 2 autos in the hobby box and 1 per mega, we will get something kind of similar. So go ahead and get into it, because I am actually in the middle of moving houses today. So these will be the last videos you see with this setup, and I've cleverly packed away everything. I think there's something sharp. Yes, we do have scissors nearby. Never fear. Yeah, I pretty much got everything packed up in my house. I'm ready to go. These are going to be like the last 2 things. I'm going to start taking things off the wall. So it's kind of chaotic, but I packed up all my wax and had a big giant box, and I said, you know what, I've got to rip something before I go. I can't take all this with me. And this is something I wanted to do for a while. So with 2025 coming out, I figured I might as well get 2024 out the way. So here we go. I'm just gonna get into it. So in the last month or so, we've had, that feels heavy, so I'm gonna do this one last. We've had a couple of decent pay-per-views. Marab defended his title against Sean O'Malley pretty emphatically. I didn't really get to see that one because I was in France on a tour of Normandy for June 6th, which was awesome. I tried to stay up, tried to experience the UFC as a European fan, and it's no joke, man. Those cards start at about midnight or 1, and I just didn't have it in me with the time change and the adjustments and stuff. But and then a couple days ago, as of this recording, we had Alexander Pantoja, or Alcandre, I don't know how exactly he's going to pronounce that, but defend his title against Kai France, really establishing himself as one of the better flyweights of all time, if not the best. And Ilya Tafuria knocked out Charles Oliveira pretty emphatically in the first round, stepping up the weight class in a pretty big way. So I'm going to go ahead and rip through 1 stack, and then we'll get to the others. I'm going to kind of fly through the base, and we will see. That is, I believe, a refractor. And then, so George St. Pierre is going to start the pack. A lot of these are turned sideways, so it's going to be kind of weird. Is that... oh, okay, auto Jack Jenkins, rookie auto. I believe that was first pack to 150. That's not bad. I like that. And then a Donald Cerrone behind it, and that is a refractor. There are not very many refractors per box. I did open 1 box last year when it kind of first came out. Did all right, but I believe I only got 1 refractor. That's just a regular insert, so I'm going to kind of keep it moving. Yeah, the one thing I noticed, I believe this is a refractor. Mateus Nicolau. Yes, refractor. Boom. Kind of hard to tell since they're all silver cards, and I believe purple is just kind of a normal insert. Brenner, he's had a decent UFC run. And Diego Lopez, who will be fighting in San Antonio here soon for UFC Noche. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, those are just the basic inserts. Ooh, as I drop the Amanda Nunes, we're calling those sepias. So some decent hits right out the gate. Henry Cejudo, Machida. There's a Tafa and Sergey Pavlovich upside down. Muhammad Makaev, who's no longer with the UFC, but is doing well outside the UFC. Here, let me bring those cards up a bit. And Calvin Cater. Kai Kara France to 150, not bad. Just you know what I mean, yeah. You say it was a tough showing, but Pantoja's just on a different level, man. You know, and he's just one, or Kai Kara France rather, is just one of those guys. That's not a refractor, I didn't think so. Who, you know, you're just coming up at the same time as a great, and it's tough. Johnny Parsons rookie card. It is tough to do that. Super Giant. I don't think I've seen one of those, but I assume that's just kind of a one per box. I'd have to look those up. I don't know the, you know, case hits or anything like that. There's an Anderson Silva to 299. Always nice to see a legend. Val Woodburn, who I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. And that is a Chiesa refractor. Yes, it is. Michael Chiesa on the board. Brandon Moreno, sepia or black and white, however we're doing it. Either one of those a refractor? It's just kind of weird to see too. That okay, the Adesanya is a refractor, so that's kind of hard to tell the difference. If we're looking at those, trying to, you know, tell the difference between what's a refractor and what's not. Good luck. All right, stack one down. One more auto to go, hopefully. Ooh. There's another Super Giant, so it's probably a 2 per box type insert. I believe I got this box. It was either from Topps or David Adams. I know I got most of the retail through David Adams, and I did get one of the megas for retail value off of eBay. Oh, you know what? No, it was not. This one was not David Adams. I got the retail off of Blowout Cards. They were having a summer sale, and the blasters were like $19 or something like that. So it was kind of nice. Already. Part 2 of the box. Let's go for it. Josh Quinlan rookie. Is that a refractor? It is a refractor. I might have lied about the refractors. I thought the box I'd opened had a shockingly low amount of refractors, but I could have been mistaken. I have to go through the stack of base. Oops, wrong stack. The stack of base from my last box and make sure there's not a bunch of refractors sitting in it. I remember one base refractor and then one insert refractor, so we're already on that. Sorry, I'm adjusting the the stack file there. Johnny Walker, Brenner base, Gaethje, and Tom Aspinall, who I believe, as I'm spilling cards onto all over the place. It's top scrum cards are slick. They're hard to stack. Tom Aspinall, the new heavyweight champion, with the announced retirement of John Jones. So that's nice. These are not numbered. But, hey, heavyweight champ auto. So heavyweight champ and Jack Jenkins. Not a bad box, in my opinion. Macy Barber purple. And Rafael dos Anjos. There's Habib. Not a refractor. Fiziev just had a good win. Jeff Neal. And that looks to be like a Alex Bahia. I don't know why that looked like a refractor sepia, but maybe I'm just missing how shiny the other ones are. It's always hard for me to tell the difference with Topps Chrome. I just don't know. And a Joshua Kulabau, the 199. He's a tough dude. Not a household name, but he's had some tough fights. All right, let's finish out the box strong. Let's get a low number or something like that. Dawson. Oops. Josh Quinlan, purple rookie. That must be a Gaethje refractor. Yeah, I definitely lied about the refractors. Feels like there's 6 per box. Almeida. Now this is an interesting card. I've not seen. It's a fight night. It must be just being insert, but again, I don't know really about case hits, so I'm gonna set that off to the side for now. Look it up. I doubt it's a case hit, but you never know. Oop, is that? What is that? Oh, okay, it's just an insert. It's the old yellow insert. Thanks for playing. Oh, guess we got a third one. Mark Usman. Oh, that one was actually a refractor. You would have no way of telling that's any different than the other two, other than it is slightly more shiny. Slightly more shiny. And it looks like we are going to finish off with a couple of just Montserrat Conejo. I forget the name she goes by. It'll say on the back, I'm sure. No, it did not. Okay, she goes by her nickname. I know that. And Luana Carolina. These are not numbered. Adesanya. And hey, an Aaron Blanchfield 299 to finish out the box. So hey, all things considered, not too bad. I'm happy with the autos we got. I'm gonna pull them up here. Tom Aspinall and Jack Jenkins to 150. Blanchfield to 299. I didn't separate the, kind of base hits and refractors and the sepias and the stuff like that. Kulabau to 199. The one thing I will say about the hobby boxes is, obviously low numbered are harder to come by, but I've seen virtually like no low numbered cards come out of hobby boxes, so they're tough to hit. Anderson Silva, but yeah, that's kind of the point. But yeah, I think the lowest I've hit is maybe 150 on the numbered out of 2 hobby boxes now. So there you go. 2 autos, I believe, one of which is numbered, 3 numbered cards, and then a bunch of about 6 refractors, and just some decent spread of color. And yeah, it was a nice box. I'm trying to keep this one short because it's part 1 of part 2, and yeah, like I said, I'm in the middle of moving, so I got to get back to it. But I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for maybe 2025 hobby versus retail, and yeah, stay tuned for part 2, the retail hits. Appreciate it. See y'all later.